Driving is undeniably one of the easiest ways to cause serious accidents, especially when operating heavy machinery like trucks and excavators. Vehicles are widely accessible, and even a momentary lapse in attention can lead to disastrous outcomes. From collapsing bridges to overturning equipment, here are 15 shocking examples of reckless individuals handling heavy machinery. Number 15. The near-miss truck flip. If you're a truck driver, understanding your load is crucial. The weight affects your vehicle's suspension, handling, and ability to safely navigate tight corners. In this case, a driver was speeding along a winding mountain road, transporting a massive load of bricks. Ignoring the risk, they took a corner too fast, nearly driving off a cliff as the truck flipped onto its side, barely avoiding disaster. The rescue effort made things worse, as the truck sent to recover the flipped vehicle also tipped over, creating a massive roadblock for days. All of this could have been avoided with just a bit of caution. Number 14. Missed exit leads to chaos. Driving is a privilege that comes with responsibility. Unfortunately, the driver of a white sedan missed their exit and recklessly decided to stop in the middle of a crowded highway to correct their mistake. This sudden stop forced a truck behind them to swerve, flipping over in the process. A second truck followed suit, spilling fuel across the highway. Meanwhile, the sedan driver fled the scene, leaving behind a mess they caused. Dangerous, irresponsible drivers like this put everyone at risk. Number 13. Ship launch gone wrong. Launching a ship into water requires precision, but in this case, poor planning led to a catastrophe. The wooden supports meant to guide the ship snapped apart, sending sharp debris flying towards the camera. The footage ends abruptly, leaving viewers to wonder if the person filming escaped unscathed. This dangerous mishap was completely avoidable with better preparation and safety measures. Number 12. Excavator plunge. Operating an excavator requires skill, but sometimes even experienced operators face insurmountable odds. In this instance, workers tried to cross a broken bridge by laying wooden planks, but the weight of the excavator was too much. The plank snapped, sending the excavator tumbling into the water below. Fortunately, no one was injured, but extracting the machine became a monumental task. Number 11. Lumber truck tumble. Bad days happen, but when you're operating heavy machinery, small mistakes can escalate quickly. A truck carrying bundles of lumber toppled over after the driver drifted too close to the edge of the road. The weight of the falling would drag the entire load down, turning a simple delivery into a major cleanup operation. Hopefully, the driver learned a valuable lesson about paying attention on the job. Number 10. Uphill truck struggle. Steep inclines are a truck driver's worst enemy, especially when carrying heavy loads. One driver attempted to transport a large vehicle up a steep hill, but halfway through, the front wheels lifted off the ground. Despite the driver's efforts, the truck slid backwards, eventually losing its load entirely. Quick-thinking motorists behind the truck managed to reverse in time to avoid a collision. Number 9. Bridge collapse. When crossing a bridge with a heavy load, it's vital to know the weight limit. In this case, the driver of a truck carrying heavy equipment ignored the bridge's limit, leading to the bridge buckling under the weight. The disaster was entirely preventable with just a bit of caution and awareness. Number 8. Sinking trucks. Loading trucks onto a floating barge is risky, especially when the barge is nearly submerged. In this instance, 3 trucks were loaded onto the barge, and as they crossed the water, the barge couldn't handle the weight. All 3 trucks slid off, plunging into the water and creating a costly, dangerous mess. Better planning and a bit more patience could have prevented this disaster. Number 7. Crane failed. Lowering heavy equipment into construction sites is tricky, and this crew didn't secure their equipment properly. As they tried to lower an excavator into a hole, the cable snapped under the weight, sending the machine plummeting. Thankfully, no one was injured, but the situation could have been far worse. Number 6. Overhead bridge mishap. Ignoring height restrictions is a surefire way to cause damage, and in this video, a truck driver failed to account for the height of their load, crashing into a bridge. The resulting chaos caused major damage, both to the bridge and the truck. Height restrictions exist for a reason, and drivers must always be aware of them. Number 5. Crane coordination gone awry. Sometimes, even when everything seems to be going well, one small misstep can lead to disaster. In this case, a group of cranes was working together to lower a pipe into a ditch, but as the ground gave way beneath one crane, the entire operation almost fell apart. Luckily, disaster was avoided, but this close call serves as a reminder to always ensure the ground is stable before operating heavy machinery. Number 4. Tractor mishap. Poor planning and impatience led to this disaster. A tractor wasn't properly secured to a truck bed, and when the driver accelerated too quickly, the tractor flew off, crashing to the ground. This preventable mistake likely caused serious damage to the tractor, and serves as a reminder to double-check that everything is tied down before hitting the road. Number 3. Suspension failure. When hauling a heavy load, suspension plays a critical role in keeping the vehicle stable. In this case, a pickup truck carrying a massive load experienced a suspension failure on a busy highway, flipping over and spilling its contents. Fortunately, no one was injured, but the driver should have planned better and perhaps used a larger vehicle. Number 2. Reckless drivers. Speeding or driving carelessly while towing large loads is a recipe for disaster. In this example, a driver towing a van made a sharp turn, causing their vehicle to flip. Another truck carrying lumber had a similar fate, tipping over because the driver was going too fast. Trucks may be powerful, but they are not indestructible. Safe driving is essential. Number 1. Expert excavator maneuver. To end on a positive note, we highlight an operator who nailed an impressive feat. Using an excavator, this skilled professional drove up a nearly vertical wall of dirt and began excavating the area with incredible precision. One wrong move could have caused a landslide, but the operator handled the situation like a true pro. A perfect example of how skilled drivers should operate heavy machinery. In conclusion, heavy equipment is not something to be taken lightly. Whether it's trucks, cranes, or excavators, operating these machines requires attention, skill, and caution. Mistakes can lead to massive accidents, but with proper care, disasters can be avoided.